Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name's Marcella and this is my art channel. So today's painting, which has been a long time coming for me, is this painting that you see behind me. It's my daisy painting. So this painting is the largest painting that I've ever attempted. So it's 2 feet by 4 feet. And it was a study in daisies. So I have 3 different techniques that I used to paint the daisies. I used my fingertip for finger painting, and I used a sponge, and then I used a brush. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll catch up with you later on in it. Thanks. My background color is oxide yellow, and I have a couple coats on. And then you see me using a kitchen sponge here, a piece of it, and just blotting up and down onto the canvas with titanium white. And then that's followed by sap green. After the sap green, I then used primary yellow and quinacridone magenta. I also decided I wanted to extend the background to cover the whole canvas. I'm now making some daisies using my fingertip, and later on in the video, you'll see a close-up zoomed in of that. This painting I did over the course of about a week and a half, working on it here and there. Now I'm using a small piece of sponge to make the petals of the daisy. And looking back, I find it very interesting to see the progression in the skill of my technique in painting these daisies. No, that was not an earthquake. I just hit the camera. There's a quote by an artist named Salvador Dali, or Dalí, I'm not sure which one it is, but he's quoted as saying, "Have no fear of perfection, for you'll never reach it." And I thought a lot about that quote during this painting, and it really gave me a lot more freedom. I just felt so much more relaxed when I just realized, yep, I'm not gonna reach perfection, that's for sure. But anyway, I thought it was a great quote, and I just wanted to share it. Here I'm using permanent light green paint, a fluid consistency, and with a stir stick just slinging it across, making stems. So here I decided to cover the whole canvas with the background. And now I'm using a sap green fluid paint and making more stems. Basically this, painting is in many layers. I, used a sponge and went over a lot of the daisies that I did. And that gave the look a lot more depth, that it was more like a natural field of daisies with, some daisies underneath other daisies. And so I basically just repeated this process a couple of times, painting over the daisies. So I'm using here a small piece of a kitchen sponge that I cut. So already I think you'll be able to notice the improvement in my daisies from the first few daisies that I did to this one. Here you see me just covering up over a daisy that I did and just making more background behind it. What I liked about this painting was that if I didn't like a daisy, I would just cover it up and, it would just kind of fade into the background. But, there was still just a little bit of an impression of it left. Of all the techniques I used, the sponge, my finger, and a brush, I felt like I had the most control actually with the kitchen sponge. The very last thing I did was I went over the painting and added, just went over some of the petals with a brush with titanium white, and this daisy I added a few more petals. So here I'm just adding some highlights to the centers of the daisies with yellow ochre. So I used yellow ochre and then some primary yellow in the centers just to give them some variations. So here's a close-up of some of the daisies. It's a really beautiful painting, very simplistic, but it has a lot of depth to it. I'm really happy with it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.